Before I start, I want to say that no, I am not one of these channels that farms views from negativity. There are plenty of other channels to choose from if you want to quench your thirst for hating Bungie and Destiny. No, this video is a bit more lighthearted, but the title is not wrong. There is such a glaring missed opportunity for Destiny's Episode Heresy that I just felt inclined to point it out. That opportunity being an activity that is very underplayed and in desperate need of a refresh. An activity that shares the same name as the episode. I'm talking, of course, about the Pit of Heresy Dungeon. All in all, Episode Heresy was a great season with fun activities, an engaging story, and some great updates to the sandbox. But seriously, why was Pit of Heresy not updated for this season? It's one of the only remaining dungeons in the game that does not have its own loot right next to the Shattered Throne. And the loot that it does drop is so old that it doesn't even have an origin trait, and its perks are easily outclassed by most of what we have in the sandbox now. I mean, even the Shattered Throne dungeon, which also drops world loot, got an update. The weapons that drop there now at least have an origin trait and more modern perks. And that dungeon is even older than the Pit of Heresy. So the Pit of Heresy uses the Moon loot pool, which is one of the last remaining expansion's gear that has not been updated since it was released. In other words, nobody is chasing this gear, and therefore nobody is playing this dungeon. We have recently had loot refreshes for the Prophecy dungeon, and all of the older raids now have updated loot and craftable weapons, so what gives? I know Bungie could be a little late for these refreshes. I personally thought that the Vault of Glass weapons should have been updated with Season of the Wish, which was a Vex-themed season, and that the Garden of Salvation weapon should have been updated with the episode Echoes, which was also a Vex-themed season, being that these were both Vex raids. And for some reason those raids were refreshed in episodes that really had nothing to do with the same theme. But that just pales in comparison to not updating a core endgame activity like this, and has a similar theme and the exact same name as the episode. It's crazy. I feel like they're going to update it someday, but man, this really should have been the time. They could have incorporated the dungeon into the story, or even as a side quest or something. A few ideas for a refresh would obviously be updating the Moon gear to have new perks and an origin trait, maybe even giving the exotic Xenophage a catalyst, which you get from this dungeon. Making a master difficulty option would be a welcome change, but I could understand if that wouldn't happen yet. But doing that, it could drop Artifice armor of the Moon gear, so it gives people a new chance to actually get Moon armor. I mean, it's not the greatest looking, but you know, something. And I've also seen some people float around the idea of putting the missing King's Fall and Crota's End weapons in as dungeon exclusive loot. We're missing a bunch of weapons in Destiny 2 that were originally in the Destiny 1 raids. Guns like Black Hammer, Light of the Abyss, Hunger of Crota, Anguish of Drystane, whatever, Silence of Aarn, and Illume's Frenzy are all missing from Destiny 2. Yeah, 2 of those are rocket launchers, so that'd be weird, but not all of them have to be added. So at a bare minimum, updating the Moon's loot pool would have been great. At the mid-level, adding a master mode and a catalyst for Xenophage would be welcome. And on the more unrealistic but awesome front, adding in missing Hive raid weapons would be phenomenal in breathing some fresh new life into this dungeon. I know the Rite of the Nine dungeon event starts soon, and I really thought that they would update this dungeon with the other ones for that event, but I guess not. So yeah, that is what I meant by Episode Heresy having a big missed opportunity. Do you think they should have updated the Pit of Heresy dungeon for Episode Heresy? And do you agree with some of my ideas for a refresh, or do you have any of your own? Just let me know down in the comments. If you liked that video, check out some of my other Destiny stuff, and as always, thank you for watching.